The big banks in Canada have been predicting that in 2023 we are going to see a real estate recession. In this video, I'm going to share with you their current thoughts on where the market is headed and what markets we've seen the biggest decline in pricing. And at the end of the video, I'm going to be answering the million-dollar question that I get asked every single day and what every consumer is wondering. Does it make sense to make a real estate move in 2023, or am I going to get totally screwed over if I were to buy or sell a home? The Bank of Canada just raised interest rates another quarter point, bringing it up to 4.5%. This was the 8th consecutive rate hike that we saw the Bank of Canada make. It's not all doom and gloom. The Bank of Canada became the first major bank to report that after this increase, they're going to be pausing their monetary policy. Bank of Canada's governor, Tiff Macklem, had this to say at a news conference. Tiff said, to be clear, this is a conditional pause and that they're doing everything they can to get inflation down to 2%. And in the future, if they see things not responding accordingly, that they will adjust interest rates to make sure that inflation is finally cured and we get back to regular levels of inflation. Where are we at today? So in December, they reported that inflation was at 6.3%, which is down from the 8.1% peak in June. Pressure prices continue to ease as we've seen oil finally come down and we've seen improvements in global supply chains. I never truly understood this when I was younger, and I'd be at work and people would be complaining how grocery prices were going up or the cost of gasoline was going through the roof. I just always brushed it off. We're now realizing how big of an impact this has on people's savings. We already struggle enough with putting money aside. Now all of a sudden things are 2 times more expensive than what they would be. It's causing a lot more people to go into debt because they're having to borrow money and put things on credit card just for standard living expenses. And with all that being said, now we're transitioning to 2023 and has everyone concerned about what's going to happen in the real estate market. And another million-dollar question that we get asked all the time is, when will the bottom come? When will we see prices finally stabilize and we've hit a bottoming in the real estate cycle? Here's what the Royal Bank of Canada's Chief Assistant Economist had to say about the current real estate market, Robert Oak. He said that prices could eventually hit a low point in early 2023, but this would depend on market to market. Oak suggested that the bottoming of the real estate market will come when the Bank of Canada finally stabilizes its benchmark interest rate. Even though we just saw another 0.25% rate hike, so with the Bank of Canada making its most recent quarter-point rate hike, but saying after that they plan on pausing any monetary policy, this is good signs that the real estate market should stabilize in the next couple months and we will see the bottom of real estate prices. He also said for people that were looking to get into the market, this might be a great opportunity for them. With the decline in prices, they might finally be able to afford homes. This definitely has to dictate what you're going to be able to afford in terms of your mortgage, because the rate hikes might have swung you the opposite way where you're no longer able to afford the payment that you're pre-approved for a few months in advance. So you want to make sure you're going to have to talk to your mortgage broker, talk to a real estate professional so they can give you the best advice on if it makes sense for you to make a real estate move. And if you're someone who's watching this video right now and you don't really know if it's going to make sense for you to make a real estate move, I have my calendar linked down in the description below. Book a call with me. I can go over all the options to actually see if making a real estate purchase or selling your home is actually going to help you in the future or not. What cities have seen the biggest decline in real estate pricing in Canada? Out east, we have Toronto that saw around a 12% decline. We have Barrie that saw 15%, and then Durham that came in at 10% decline in real estate prices last year. Now we move to the real estate market that I'm in British Columbia. Vancouver saw about a 5% decline. Kelowna came in at 12%, which is my local market. And then you saw Nanaimo at a 10%. These were the markets that saw the biggest downturn in pricing in 2022. But it's not all bad news on real estate prices declining in certain areas. You saw Calgary that had a 7% increase in its pricing in 2022 as it continued to lag the market the whole entire way. And we saw prices going crazy in Vancouver, Toronto, Kelowna. Even in Edmonton, prices really were kind of rising and Calgary kind of stayed stagnant. But now in 2022, with its lower real estate prices, it became a really hot place for relocation. And I knew so many people that left from BC just to go there so they could afford a home. Another big concern that these banks have is the difference in inventory and the fluctuations from market to market. In my market in particular, Okanagan, we saw a 165% increase in the amount of single-family homes active on the market, where in other areas, they've seen a decline in the amount of inventory that's available. In this video, I am giving generalistic information on all of Canada, but you want to make sure whatever market you're in, that you're seeking local professional advice that they can advise you on what's actually happening in their real estate market, because it's truly different from city to city, and even province to province, there's not a direct reflection on what's truly going on. You got to go into your local market to find out the exact stats and how things are performing. So the $1,000,000 question that we get asked all the time is, what should I be doing in real estate right now? Does it make sense to buy or sell? And this always comes back to your specific scenario and what your goals are going to be from 5 years from now, 10, 15, 20, etc. You got to really diagnose what direction your family's heading and what you're trying to achieve. I know a lot of people are hung up that their homes have lost $100,000, $200,000 worth of value in some areas, but they need to keep in mind that this is relative. So not only did your home get a lot cheaper, if you were to sell and buy, the home that you're going to be buying, you're going to definitely be getting the same discount on as the amount that your home lost. And in a lot of cases, with the amount of inventory on the market, you might even be able to get a better deal than what your home sells for. So a lot of things to consider. It comes down to what your goals are going to be for the next few. But for the person that's looking to make a real estate move, you got to have that internal talk and see what goals and what you're trying to achieve in the future. Now, speaking to investors that might be a little bit shy because of mortgage rates, but the best part about real estate investing is it always just comes down to numbers. So if the property is going to cash flow and you're going to return a certain percentage on your investment that's happier or exceeding anything else in the market, I think you should still continue being an active real estate investor even in times of uncertainty. This is the best part because it just comes down to cash flow. Is this property going to cash flow and I can cover the cost? And then you having that equity pay down, I know for a fact that this is probably going to be a better return than putting your money in the stock market or anywhere else. But the people that I'm most excited for in the real estate market are buyers. So these in particular are first-time buyers and move-up buyers, where now with the amount of inventory, you're actually going to be able to find a home that's going to meet your total criteria. We're back in 2020, 2021, and 2022. A lot of times you're settling for homes that didn't check all the boxes and you were paying extremely high prices. So now for people looking to get in the market, you're probably going to be able to get that backyard, you're going to get the number of rooms you're going to get it at the price that will allow you to potentially refinance in the future and pull out that equity when interest rates change. So these are the people I'm most stoked for and really need to be exploring making a real estate move while the opportunity is still out there. The fact of the matter is real estate prices are going to be expensive no matter where you buy in Canada. And if you're interested in finding out why people struggle to afford homes nowadays, you're going to want to watch this video next right here where I cover all those topics.